Welcome to Foundation Step 4 Stress, Reactivity, Habitual Reactivity. And so our practice to this point has built this awareness and this dual awareness that leads us to this transition point, I say, where in MBSR and in my life, I've recognized the importance of being aware of stress, how it affects my mind, my body, and how my behavior affects the world around me. And I share this in my book and in the readings. So to add something different, hopefully, than what you'll read about stress reactivity, is that stress reactivity happens unconsciously. And in my 2 years after the attack, my hypervigilance, wanting to play hero, not seeing anyone wanting to get hurt, was just this reactive state of stress triggering these past lived events, my PTSD, my pain, all of it. And this is unconscious because we've conditioned ourselves, our narratives, and our body to respond in this heightened mode, or fight and flight mode, or fight, flight, freeze mode, or dissociative mode, this window of tolerance. And so it's important that we can talk about stress and how we are reactive, but bringing the awareness piece through our practice so far, and being able to become aware of not just what we've been touching on, our triggers or things that pull us out, the stressful life situations, people, places, and things that pull us out of the stress, but how it affects our mind, our body, breaks down our physiology, causes burnout, and so, but it causes this energy of the stress reactivity comes out in a flow, or the energy release through a behavior. And so, for example, as I like to share in my book, but I feel that, remember, I speak from the I, but we are human beings, and we all experience trauma, some kind of illness, and definitely stress, which is what we're talking about. And so the stressful part is, man, I would just project on my family members and my wife, and she was so supportive. And so, the mind likes to pick out the slightest thing in the present moment, get triggered, relate it to some kind of past trauma or past negative experience, flushing in all these stressful thoughts and feeding my stressful body and going back and forth in this loop, which eventually breaks down the well-being. And so bringing awareness and actually becoming aware of my reactive state and how I've programmed and conditioned my mind and body to deal or work with stress, we want to be with and work with. And this is where working with the unpleasant comes in. But bringing the awareness allowed me the process of what I call my transformation, where I took becoming aware of the stress, the trauma, the pain, the cancer diagnosis, and transitioning that into a new story, a new narrative, building healing, strength, because eventually I built a response, because through my practice and my self-awareness, I've started beginning to learn it, to observe, and then we can transform. And so I will leave you with a short reflection. And remember, if you see people walking, noises in the background, that's part of our mindfulness practice, where we bring our attention back. And so I hope you enjoy the read in Foundation Step 4 on stress response and habitual responses. And this is where it comes to a turning point for us. A big just transition in our well-being journey. And so reflect. Bringing your awareness to a focal point in your visual field, or connecting with the breath. Reflecting. How do I respond in stressful situations? Reflecting in this reactivity, do I project it on people? Do I dissociate? What are some of my behaviors, or how I let or don't let my energy out when I'm in a stressful state? And maybe as you reflect on this, where do you sense this in your body? Where do you sense this energy of stress in the body right now? Reflecting on this reactivity. And just bringing the breath into there. Breathing into that part of the body. Sensing the breath enter and exhale. And now taking a moment to come back to your anchor and thank yourself. Thank yourself for gaining insight and some awareness into your stress reactivity. And be cool to yourself.